My work day, I do work in a very big corporate hierarchical organization. So during my workday, I'm always having to think about the other stakeholders that I have to interact with and schedule around, thinking about the kind of motivations and incentives for those stakeholders as well to like get things done and make progress. My number one I'm a very like output driven person. I like tangible outcomes. I'm a producer, project manager by trade, and so it's like let's make it happen. So my work days are always driven by that. Like what motivates me to make things happen is like okay, let's get an outcome. So a lot of meetings have to happen. A majority of my day is spent making proposals, typically in the format of decks and PowerPoints. And then the way that I still approach everything I do systematically, no matter personal or professional. But with a lot of my other projects, since it's kind of like the main stakeholder is myself and maybe like people that I choose to include in those experiences, it's a little bit different. And it's almost like even though my plate is like piled up beyond, it still feels like liberating though to have more autonomy with some of those things. Everything I do, I still work with collaborators. They're people I chose to work with or also who chose me to work with, which is a little bit different than like an HR department decision, you know. But
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, like, especially when I'm working on my other side projects and even social things, I'm like thinking about solutions. So how can I like solve something creatively? How can I meet whatever the need is of the chosen demographic or person or group I'm hanging out with or whatever? Versus at work, it's like outcomes, outcomes, outcomes. Like let's like just get it done. And sometimes I hate that we have to sometimes choose to be this way, but like it's like done is better than good sometimes.
Yeah.
I honestly like
Absolutely.
before moving to Asia, that wasn't a concept I really like held on to. Partly because like I worked in New York for several years, and especially like honestly, a lot of people from the East Coast, I think you can relate to like get shit done mindset, you know? And so
Yeah.
and like do it when we want to and raised that way. And so to me, like I'm like in meetings and you're just trying to always get consensus building, and I'm like, okay, that sounds like that will get it done. And like I will stop trying to offer improvements. I will stop making suggestions. I've had colleagues message me on the desk being like, stop asking questions. We want this meeting to be over. And I'm like, I'm asking questions that would help us all do our jobs better. But okay, sure. They're like, yeah, I want to leave. I was like,
Aw.
okay. They're like, the meeting needs to be done. I'm like, okay, sure. But like how I approach other things is definitely like with like, let's try to make the best solution that's going to make the best experience. And I'm really driven by like experience and like, yeah, and all the other things like socially and with the other, endeavors.